आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारो अन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यतायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So we are seeing two verses which is written by the commentator as the prayer before beginning this Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad Bhashya commentary. Adi Shankara, who was one of the predominant teacher in the lineage of traditional teachers. So he wrote the commentary for Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. Commentary is so deep with all kinds of arguments and to bring forth what is the truth. He has to take all the school of philosophies in his commentary, showing their vision, and after that showing the fallacies and limitations on that their visions, and what is the real vision regarding the truth. So before writing this commentary, he wrote these two mantras as a prayer. It's very important to be a prayerful person and to pray before embarking a mission, to remove all possible obstacles and tapping the grace from the all-pervasive Lord to reach our goal in spite of all the obstacles and difficulties. So the prayers, what he has written before writing the commentary, we will also look into that, what is the meaning, and we will chant also. I will chant the first verse which we have already gone through the meaning. Still I will give some brushing up before entering to the second verse. Prajnanam shupratane sthiracharanikara vyapibhirvyapya lokan bhuktva bhogan sthavishtan punarabhidhishano bhasidan kamajanyan pītvā sarvān visheshan supidhi madhurabhung mayaya bhojayan naha maya sankhya sturiyam paramamritamajam brahmayatannatosmi. We already saw the meaning of this verse. Still, I will give you the meaning before going to the second verse. Brahma yad tan nataha na nataha asmi. I bow in front of the Brahman, which is in the form of rays of eternal consciousness. By spreading that eternal consciousness through the rays, through the form of rays, in the waking state, all the sentient and insentient objects, all the gross objects, by spreading on them, enjoying them, it will enter into the dream state where the things are subtle. There also still the rise of all-pervasive consciousness or all-knowing consciousness, which is in the form of intellect. Through that intellect, because of our ignorance, because of our actions, because of our impressions, a world is created and being enjoyed by this same entity, what we call Brahman, who is in the form of all-knowing consciousness. The same entity which, having enjoyed in the waking state all gross object, then it will enter into the dream state where it will enjoy all subtle things through our intellect. Then there Shankara mentions the dream state is due to ignorance, due to our actions, due to our impressions, etc., etc., which is going to be seen in our coming verses in this Upanishad. Having enjoyed the dream state also by this all-knowing consciousness, it will enter into the deep sleep state where the waking state and the dream state are being merged. Having merged these two states in the deep sleep state, the all-knowing consciousness, the rays of all-knowing consciousness, what we call Brahman, who is also stands as the fourth number when we count all these three states as 1, 2, 3. There, it's enjoy this happiness. And we call it as the fourth and the ultimate, the birthless and the deathless entity, which is Brahman. That Brahman should help me, protects me, should protect me in this pursuit. So I bow to tap the grace from this Brahman, who is in the form of a rays of all-knowing consciousness and spreading all in these three states. Thus, this all-knowing entity will be unchangeable when it go through these three states. Thus, we go by enjoying all these three states and resolves and merges into third state, and there, by whom all these three states are happening, that will become the fourth, and I go in front of this fourth Turiyam for all the blessings to go through the spiritual pursuit without having any kinds of obstacles. So the prayer is very deep with a lot of messages. What is going to be studied by us is being presented in these 4 verses. Again, the same message is being shown to the next verse, which is also a prayer. I will read that. Yo Vishwatma Vidija Vishayan Prashya Bhogan Stavishtan Paschachanyan Sumiti Vibhavan Jyodisha Svena Sukshman Sarvan Etan Punarabhishani Swatmanistapayitva Hitva Sarvan Visheshan Vigata Gunagana Patvasaunathuriyaha. Once more I will read. Yo Vishwatma Vidija Vishayan Prashya Bhogan Stavishtan Paschachanyan Sumiti Vibhavan Jyodisha Svena Sukshman Sarvan Etan Punarabhishanai Swatmanistapayitva Hitva Sarvan Visheshan Vigata Gunagana Padvasaunathuriyaha. Yo Vishwatma. Vishwam Eva Atma. The all-knowing entity who is identified with this world, Jagat, Vishwam Atma. Vishwam means world, what is seen in the creation, the entire world. Yo Vishwatma Vidija Vishayan. This all-knowing entity who is identified with this world or creation, that means who is in the form of creation. Identified means who is in the form of creation. When it comes to the creation, this entity who is the base of all these five elements, and again 5 elements is been mixed up, panchikaranam, and after mixing up they become different things, objects. Then it is available for our empirical dealing. Without the panchikaranam, mixing up all these five in a ratio, there is no empirical empirical dealings. There is no things available for our empirical dealings. So panchikaranam is important. Mixing up all these 5 elements and coming to the gross objects. Avishtan. That things which are available in our waking state, gross objects. And who is centered inside the body as though an individual soul. He is identified with the world and creation. It is non-separate from the world and creation. Prayer itself is so deep, but we should know. You will get all this meaning in a grammatical way when you buy a book which is translated Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. That's not the way of studying. Studying is something different. You have to know in the simple words and you should understand the meaning. That entity who is all pervasive and all knowing, who is inside the body and also who is identified with the world and creation and who is enjoying the gross objects according to the rules of laws of karma, according to the laws of karma. Each and everybody will have different experiences. Not everybody will have the same experiences and enjoyments and also issues. Each and everybody will have different experiences, different issues. So, Yo Vishwatma, the one who is identified with the gross things and the creations, and who is in the waking state enjoying the all objects, Vidija Vishaya, enjoying. Vidhi Janita Vishaya, Vidija, Vidhi Janita. Vidhi means according to the laws of karma. Everybody will enjoy those things which are born according to the laws of karma. Vidija Vishaya. After that, Vidija Vishayan Prashya, enjoying, Ashdadu, to eat, to consume, Prakarshena Ashnadi. Prashya, having eaten, having enjoyed the gross objects, what is brought by the dharma and the adharma done by that particular individual. Still, this all-knowing entity is being misidentified as an individual soul. This misidentification will make them to do the actions in this world. According to that actions, certain fruits, the palani, the results will come to enjoy by them, or it may be some worries. After going through all these experiences, Yo Vishwatma, one who is in the form of Vishwatma, this all-knowing consciousness, who identified with the world, enjoying the gross objects which are made of the mixture of 5 elements, what it will do. Paschat, after that, Anyan. All these things, what having enjoyed in this waking state will make some impressions. Definitely. Paschat cha anyan. Sumiti vibhavan jyotisha svena sukshman. Jyotisha, through the lighting up of the intellect, which are subtle, where the five elements are not mixed up, they are subtle elements. When they are subtle, there is no gross objects. They are all in the form of thoughts, in the form of impressions, in the form of vasanas in Sanskrit. After enjoying the gross object, an entity which is identified with the world, it will merge to the deep sleep state, or the state, it will change the state. Then, after changing the state, paschat, after that, it will enjoy. What it will enjoy? Sukshmani Vishayan. Sukshman Vishaya. Subtle objects which are in the form of thoughts, which are created by the ignorance, which are created by the impressions, which are created by the vasanas, our own actions. A carbon copy will be kept inside the memory. Whatever actions we have done in the external world. That is called impressions. That's why we want to enjoy the same thing after enjoying once in our life externally. Then a desire is born. I want to enjoy same thing, the same way, the same man, the same person, talking or drinking, whatever it. That is called impressions. Yo Vishwatma Vidija Vishayan Prashya Bhogan Stabishtan. Impressions are created according to the gross objects enjoyed by this entity who is identified with the world. And after that, Swamiti, in the intellect, where the five elements are not being mixed up, so that there is no gross creation. All are subtle and being enjoyed by the buddhi, intellect. Jyotisha, lighting up them in the subtler way. After enjoying the objects of waking state, after enjoying the subtle things in the dream state, then what will it do? Sarvan etan punarabi shanai swatmani stapayitva. All these things, sarvan, all these things, etan punarabi, again, shanai, slowly, swatmani, in oneself, it's all merged. Merging, having merged the subtle things of dream state, having merged the gross objects of the waking state in the deep sleep state. In the deep sleep state, even though a person will be a criminal, or a person will be a doctor, or a person will be an engineer, the deep sleep state is one and the same for everybody. We cannot identify the person, how he will or she will behave while they are sleeping. After waking up only, we will come to know the slang of the language, the way of walking, the level of understanding about the world and people and the maturity, everything. Why? All are merged in the deep sleep state. Nothing will be available to get a overall understanding about the personality. In the deep sleep state, everything is merged because it happens as a cycle. Waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. Again, can be dream state and waking state, or again, from the deep sleep state, go to the waking state. So it's a cycle going on. There is no rule for this. Directly a person go to deep sleep state from the waking state. Anyway, having enjoyed all the gross objects in the waking state in the form of Vishwatma, who identified the world within oneself, then it will become the enjoyer of the subtle things in the dream state. The same thing, the same entity. Then it will merge all the gross objects and all the subtle objects which enjoyed in the deep sleep state, dream state, and which enjoyed in the waking state into the deep sleep state. Swatmani sthapayitva, merging, keeping them underneath. Swatmani sthapayitva. They are being merged, swatmani, in oneself itself, merged. Here I would like to see what they have written. In the sleep state, withdrawn all into itself. Merging is given in the name of withdrawn. That's all. And at last, Swatmani Stapayitva. All the subtle objects, all the gross objects, all the both waking state and dream state, everything has been merged into itself. And Hitva, having given up. When the knowledge comes from the traditional teachers, when you have the mind to listen them, when your mind is available to fetch the bigger things in the world, most of the people are behind the silly things like, wealth, wine, and woman. www.com. They are all petty and silly things. Most of the world is behind www. They are fetching silly things in their life. Very few people go for the treasure hunt, the precious gems to reach the destination. For them, all these things are there. When we are available with our mind to listen the biggest things in the world, the bigger thing in the world, then that entity which appeared in form of consciousness in the waking state, that entity which appeared in the form of the enjoyer in the dream state, that entity who resolved both states into deep sleep state, including the gross objects and the subtle objects, that entity after giving up all the Visheshanas, Sarvan Etan, Hitva, mean having given up. Sarvan Visheshan. Visheshan means the features which were there to enjoy in the waking state. The features which were there in the dream state. Visheshan. When you see a movie, the white screen is without any features. When we don't see the movie, only white screen appears, then it has given up all the features. When we see the movie, a white screen with all kinds of features. So here, it's the entity who gone through all these three states. Last, what it will do? It will Sarvan Etan Visheshan Hitva Sarvan Visheshan. It will give up by the knowledge, or it will be merged inside the consciousness while giving up the body. When there is no knowledge, there will be a next birth. In both ways, all the features are being merged into. When a person becomes unconscious in the last state, coma, organs are not working. In the hospital, the person is completely almost dead. Still the heart is beating. Then everything is merged in the form of impressions. Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. That impressions will go to take a next birth and will take another body. In that place, in that time also, Hitva, after giving up this body, it will enter into the next body. But in the prayer, the meaning is the entity which has gone through these three states and enjoyed all the gross objects and subtle object, and also the indivisible happiness in the deep sleep state. Because deep sleep will always bring some happiness. After waking up, we say that I slept very happily, without any interruption. I slept very well, happy. So there is an enjoyment of happiness born out of non-duality. There is no Vedam, separation, that I am this body, a world is there, I have to deal with the world. That divisions are not there. Where there is no division, happiness will be resumed. Even though in the deep sleep state, we enjoy certain happiness, we are not aware of what is what, from where the enjoyment comes, what is the source of happiness, who am I? Nothing is there. In the deep sleep state means it's a state which is meant for the body, where the organs are being completely shut down. But in the prayer, in the last sentence, Shankara says that after going through these three states and enjoying these objects, giving up all the features which we have enjoyed in these three states, Vishesha, Vigata Gunaganaha, who is formless, who is nameless, who doesn't have any connection with the names and forms which appeared in the gross, which appeared in the waking state, which appeared in the deep sleep, dream state. Vigatam, Visheshena Gatam, Vibaritam Gatam, giving up and devoid, free of. Nothing is there, no names and forms, no limitations. Guna Gana. There is no qualities, there is no adjectives. It's only all pervading consciousness who is formless now, because it has given up all these three states in the meditation. We don't go through any states. When we are focusing on our own consciousness, that consciousness which is all pervading, there is no states. That is why meditation can be for 12 days, 9 months, 100 years, they say in our traditional texts. Meditation is not included in the three states. Why? In meditation, we are not enjoying any gross objects or subtle objects. Suppose if we are enjoying some subtle objects or we entered into deep sleep, it's not meditation at all. In meditation, we focus on the consciousness which is being taught by our teacher. There is no body, we are only consciousness. We can stay more and more time. When it goes, it can be years. There are rishis, sages, who stayed back in the meditation for years. When we go through the Puranas, legendary Puranas, scriptures of Indian tradition, we see they prayed in meditation for years. Like that, once a person get enlightened by the teaching of the traditional teacher, that itself will make them to give up all the limitations pertaining to the body, mind, sense complex. Hitva sarvan visheshan. Vigata guna gana. All the things. Guna. Guna means a qualification, long rope, short rope, slow, very small rope, big elephant, small ant. This is called Visheshnam or Gunam, an adjective. In order to identify something, we add adjective in the word. A green leaf, an yellow leaf, it's also a Gunam, a quality for a thing, But this consciousness, who is in the form of truth, Satyam, Jnanam, who is in the form of consciousness, who is in the form of happiness or in the form of limitlessness, who is having the nature of limitlessness. Anantam, who is the source of happiness also, Anand. So I bow in front of the Brahman who has gone through these three states and who has enjoyed all these objects which are appearing in these states, and who has given up all the limitations and all the qualifications, qualities, vigadam. It can only possible after studying tradition. If we don't study the tradition, we will not know in our whole life that I am a formless Brahman. I am a truth which is not having any form or name. I am deathless, birthless, Ajam Amritam. Without the teaching of a traditional teacher, we will not have the avoidance of the qualifications. We will be always thinking that I am a body which is subject to death and birth. But when the teaching occurs and the person is ready to go through that certain commitment towards the teaching, then that person will give up all the limitations and all the states and all the objects which is enjoyed by the body while living. Remember that giving up means it's not that you will not drink the tea or coffee and you will give up your house and walk away. No. Knowing that I am not an enjoyer, knowing that I am not a doer. Aham akarta abhokta. There is no doership, there is no enjoyership, even though I enjoy after getting the knowledge. I don't have the pressure to enjoy or to do. Then Vigata Gunagana. He has given up all qualifications. That entity which is free from all kinds of features which appeared in the dream state and waking state, that entity, Patu. Patu means protect us. May you protect us. That entity who is the base of all these three states, Naha. Protect us. Naha means us. And who is the fourth? Fourth means what? When three states are counted, with respect to these three states, the base is also getting a number. Where these three states are occurring, that base is also called the fourth. Turiyaha. So the entire meaning will be like this. The entity which has enjoyed the working state and the gross objects and who identified itself with the world and creation, after enjoying the waking state, it will enter into the dream state, the same consciousness, the same entity, and create the subtle objects and enjoy due to the impressions and the actions and ignorance. There also, there will be a subtle world which is formed by the elements, five elements, which are not mixed up, so that it will be subtle. After enjoying these subtle objects and gross objects in these two states, it will merge into the deep sleep state where there is only happiness due to the non-duality. There also a certain amount of happiness is being enjoyed. After enjoying the happiness there, giving up all these three states and all these objects and experiences due to the traditional teachings, we came to know that entity which is all pervasive is the central pillar of the creation and the body. May that entity who has given up all kinds of Visheshan. Visheshan means different features which we enjoyed in the waking state and the subtle state, the dream state and the deep sleep state. Giving up all the qualifications, qualities, and it is pure, ever pure, without any limitations. A quality, a qualification is a limitation, an adjective. Dr. Sunil is only a doctor. It's a qualification. He's not an engineer, he's not an artist, he's not a dancer, he's not a chef. How much limitation when you keep a qualification or an adjective, Blue lily, it's not an orange lily, it's not a rose lily, it's not a gray, a yellow lily, it's only a blue lily. How much limitations are there? A cow, it's not a tiger, it's not a star, it's not a sky, it's not anything other than a cow. How much limitations are there? I'm a Swedish guy. You are not a Canadian, you are not a US citizen, you are not a Chinese, you are not an Indian, you are not a British, nothing. You are only a Swedish person. How much limitations are? When we come to the features, I will explain about what are the limitations, what we are proud of, by which limitation we are proud of. It is just really a limitation for us. When there is no limitation, that's why when you ask the traditional teachers, what is their qualification, they just laugh, because they are not interested to talk about their qualifications. From where you are, how many are there, it's all limitations. That's why that entity who has given up all the limitations, which is inside and outside of the body, path, protect us, who is the fourth in our traditional teaching. Turiyaha, Turiyaha Brahma, Turiyam Brahma. The fourth entity, after giving up the three states, we come to realize that the base of all these three states made this base of three states, who is the form of Brahman, who highlighted the subtle objects in the deep sleep dream state, who enjoyed the gross objects in the waking state, who made us, who enjoyed the happiness of non-duality in the deep sleep state. That entity, after studying, we came to know that entity who is standing the fourth as the fourth. May it protect us. May it give all kinds of blessings to go through the traditional teaching of Upanishad. So, an extraordinary prayer by Adi Shankara. You will get all kinds of translations of this words, word by word meaning and everything. Our class is not word by word meaning. Our class is to understand what is the content of the verse. That's why I take long time to elaborate all the verse, entire verses, two verses. So these are the two verses which are prayers which are chanted in the beginning of Upanishad. Now we start our Upanishad, real mantras of Upanishad. Before that, I want to tell you something. Upanishads are not written by anybody. If you have a question that Shankara has written two prayers, fine. Upanishads are not written by anybody. Upanishads are called Apaurusheyam. Purushaha, a man or a woman. A man-made marvels. Lot of things are being created by the man, but lot of limitations also there. Anything created by the man has lot of limitations, we know that. Suppose an artist written a book, it will be only regarding the arts. If a dancer wrote a book, that book will be only giving the informations regarding dance. A chef, if he wrote a book, it will be information regarding the dishes. This is called Purushayam, a man-made products. It has always limitations. When we say Apaurushayam, there will be no defects because it's not written by anybody. Upanishads are not written by anybody. Upanishads are there from the immemorial past. Our sages, due to their tapas, due to their finances, due to their commitment, they saw the mantras from the atmosphere, from around them. Thus, Upanishads are being there. It's all collected by the sages and put in the form of a book. It's not that somebody written Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. Nobody has written the Upanishads in this world. Upanishads are apaurushayam, not written by anybody. Any man-made things will have limitations. Upanishads are not written by anybody. So that it is there for us without having any defects. Because it is talking about the truth, it will be valuable at any part of time. Because it's not highlighting some lies, or it is not taking advantages of the human insecurity. It's talking about the reality of a human being, reality of the entire world. That it continue and it will be relevant at any part of the time. After 60 years, the worth will be the same of studying Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. After 20 years, the worth will be the same of studying Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. So make use of it this time, studying the Upanishad. So Upanishad is apaurushayam, not written by anybody. It is there from the immemorial past. Now we are entering to the Upanishad first mantra. Om ityedadaksharam sarvam tasya ubhavyakyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam omkaraha eva yaccha anyat trikaladidam tadapi omkara eva. I will read once more. Om ityedadaksharam itam sarvam tasya ubhavyakyanam bodham bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam om chanyat trikaladidam tadapi omkara eva. Om, very famous word, correct? Without Om, there is no mantra. Om is a name, designation for the whole pervasive entity. We all know that an object and its name are non-separate. When I say matchbox, the picture of the matchbox immediately appears in our mind. A book, when I utter a name, the object will immediately appear in the mind of the listener. So, Om is a designation given to the all-pervasive, all-knowing, pure Brahman. The entire Upanishad is talking about Om. Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam. Om iti etat aksharam idam sarvam. Now come to the word by word meaning. Idam sarvam. What you see right in front of you is called idam. This. All these things. Everything which is right in front of you is called this. Sarva means all. Idam means this. When you say this proverb, it means that something is already existing in front of you in that form of creation. That's why you say this. This idam sarvam. Things. Om iti etat aksharam. These things what we perceive should be in bracket. Om iti etat aksharam. It's all nothing but Om, the syllable. Whatever I see right in front of me, whatever I can think, whatever I can listen, whatever I can smell, everything you should include when I perceive, when we see, whatever we see when I say, right in front of me. Tasya, of that who is in the manifested form and also in the unmanifested form, who is in the ultimate form, who is in the form of deities, aparam Brahma. Tasya, the word indicates in the ultimate form, which is formless and nameless. Secondary way, who is in the form of different things and also in the form of deities, or which we can grasp, which we can sense through our mind and intellect. So two types of form, param, aparam. Tasya, of that manifested and unmanifested form of Brahman is begun, prastutam, begun. Tasya upavyakyan. Upavyakyan, a brief explanation, a clean-cut brief explanation, a clear explanation without any. We will explain has begun. So, idam sarvam om iti etat. All these are nothing but Brahman. A designation of the Brahman is called Om, syllable Om. Everything is nothing but Om. And about the Om, a clear explanation has begun. And the reality about the whom is been told. Bhutam, whatever happened in our life and in the creation. Bhavat, what is happening now? Bhavat, at present. Bhutam, Bhavat. And what is going to happen? Bhavishyat. Bhutam, Bhavat, Bhavishyat. What is going to happen in the future? It is Sarvam Omkarameva. All are nothing but Om. That is why Om is so important. It's a designation of Brahman. The name is important, whether it is in empirical life or in the spiritual life. So, whatever happened, what is going on, what is yet to come, nothing, all are Om only. Sarvam api, all are Om only. And Trikala Atitam, what is gone beyond all these three timings? Bhutam, Bhavat, Bhavishyat. Something stay back. Only one thing stays back still. Trikala Atitam. What is beyond the future? What is beyond the present? What is beyond the past? Which is not subject to past, present, or future. If something is available other than this past, present, and future, which is not subject to anything, that is also, if you can think of the reality which is untouched by the past, present, or future, Nityam Brahma, that is also Tadavi, that also is Omkaraha Eva. It is also Om. The very first verse itself repeats the Om three times. Om ityedat idad aksharam sarvam. Correct? I will read the verse once more. Om iti edat aksharam idam sarvam tasya ubhavyakyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam omkara eva etcha anyat trikaladidam tadabi omkara eva. Omkaraha eva. Three times Om is being told in the first verse itself. Now, I have to give some explanation based on the Shankara's commentary on this first verse. The meaning of the first verse is very simple. Whatever we see right in front of us is nothing but Om. Everything here. And whatever gone beyond, what is right now in front of me, what is going to happen, that is also Om only. And if something is there beyond all these three, past, present, and future, it is also Om only. So Om is something to be known. That is the meaning to be understood from. We will continue the class in the next Sunday. Om Susti Prajabhyam Paripalayandam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Ubrahmanibhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Choparahitaha Brahmana Santu Narbhayah Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।